So getting ready to Carolina rig, I just wanted to show you how I prepare my bait. So there's my 4.5, 5 foot leader, way too long for most people. I keep my drag pretty loose, not too pinched down. And what I'm going to do, like I mentioned, I don't cast it. I'm going to use the boat to get my distance. So I'm sort of just going to flop the bait out there, let it sink. We're in about 9 feet of water right now. And I like to keep the boat and no shallower than 5 and no deeper than, say, 25. So I'm letting line out. So this is, say, your cast, right? Still letting line out. So I know where my bait landed and I know about how much line I have out. And now I'm going to click over. So now I already feel my bait bouncing on the bottom. We got some muddy shelves here with some broken rock. And I just sort of mosey myself down the shoreline. And I feel for any little difference in the weight. That's why, like I initially had said, I like rocky structures more than grass and mud. Right now we're a little grassy and mud, but I know from experience that there's this rock that you see right in front of me now that extends in a couple different spots. So I use my trolling motor to move us down the bank, and every now and then I'll twitch my rod tip. And that's how I do it. And I'll wait. If I don't get one on a certain pass, I might come back a little deeper, a little shallower. Let a little bit more line out every now and then. Every now and then you'll feel your weight might feel a little, your bait feel a little heavy. You might have picked up a weed, a tree pounder as we call them. You know, you think you have a fish, but so you'll learn to identify how heavy your weight should be, your bait should be. And this type of presentation, we are literally skipping the bottom of the lake. I don't see a lot of weeds here, but you will pick up weeds. It's part of fishing, and you'll reel up and recast. And it's funny, I could fine tune. I go, wait, that feels different, and there's a little piece of grass, and I'll reel up, and sure enough, there's a blade of grass. But it's those just little differences that I've come to try to correct. I feel like if I'm going to be out here on the water, I'm going to give myself the best chance of catching a fish at all times. And I don't want to waste a lot of time rigging like Harry's doing right now.
Right.
Or moving. I like to concentrate on a stretch of land that I've been to, of course, and bounce my bait along the bottom. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I know that I've given myself the best chance from experience on catching a fish. There we go. Doesn't feel all that big, but little fish need love too. Didn't take us too long to hook up on the shimmy. This is probably the smallest fish of the day. It is really small, but you know what? A fish is a fish.
All fish matter.
All fish matter. And that's it, the shimmy. You just spit up another worm, it looks like. And bring him on in now. And that's the little bass, but you know, like I said, all bass matter. And he fell for the shimmy and Neptune shad like we've been talking about most of the day. Hooked right in the corner of his mouth, came right out, and we're gonna let him fight another day. Go tell your daddy I'm here, or your mommy. And what's great is that bait obviously wasn't a big fish to terrorize the bait, but the baits can be used over and over and over and over. You're not, as long as, you know, they don't spit it, they're pretty much reusable. Just got to reposition it on your hook. All right, guys, what does the captain use out on the lake? Now, I've pounded this into your head. Finesse, finesse, finesse. Finesse the West. Little hashtag we use. And finesse fishing is, in my opinion, spinning rods. Spinning reels, light rods, light line. So I wanted to show you basically what I use when I Carolina rig the Shimmy. So I've been using this reel, and I have about 4 of them. They no longer make them anymore. It's the Stratic from Shimano, and they now have the Vanguard, which apparently is, according to Harry, better than what I have here on the boat. All jokes aside, this reel has been great to me. I've had it for 10 years or so. I have 4 of them, like I said. So I use the 2500 series spinning reel. So any spinning reel you get. You can get a Sedona, it'll do the same thing. But I just preferred this model, this level of reel. I'm using Shimano Zodius rods. This is a 6'8", good for 5 to 10 pound test line. I do get a lot of sensitivity. It's a stiff rod with a fast tip. The way I fish, dragging the baits, drifting the baits, I do need that backbone here in the center of the rod, but the fast tip really, it comes into play on a finicky biter. If they're not just going to yank it, sometimes they're going to tap it, and you need to feel that. You can't be using a rod with a really whippy tip. You're going to miss a lot of those strikes. That's a little bit better. Ooh, he's got some pull. He's no big. He's bigger than the last one, which isn't saying much. Let's tighten that drag a little bit. He wants to come to your side, Harry.
No problem at all.
I probably scooped up your line, hopefully not. Oh yeah, he's bigger.
Oh yeah.
A 2-pounder, I think. Coming in sideways. Hopefully he's Are you on him? Am I on you?
Nope.
Okay, it looks like he's got something pulling him the other way. Slack line if you can, just for a second. There he comes. I'm gonna boat flip him.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. Better. Not as big as we're looking still, but we're getting better. We're going in the right direction, right, Harry?
Yes, we are.
And Harry just had missed one, and generally, standard color chart covers almost every realm of weather condition, rain, heat, crowds. I even have, I feel like when it's crowded here at the lake, which it gets on weekends, there's certain colors that I will fish because I feel like, for some reason, I call them crowd baits. When you're on a point and you're fishing and you're getting rocked by wake boats, oxblood, Neptune shad, it's funny. We'll be fishing a different color and I'll throw one of those on because we're getting rocked and rolling. I think it stimulates the fish as well. Some guys get mad at the wake boat, the waves. Yeah. And I do too. Trust me, I want it calm. But sometimes I feel like that stirs up a point. You hear of mud lines and stuff like that, and I can almost throw a couple of these different colors on a drop shot into that situation, and have some instant results.
Okay, very nice. So now we covered all the basics on the Shimmy. Do you have any recommendations for your ice picks?
Ice picks. Ice picks generally, of course, all the same colors to a degree. I like to fish ice picks. I like the oxblood ice pick and the Neptune shad. Again, if it's a hot day like today, shad are around right now, I'd be sticking with the natural colors, more reflective than the dull baits. Oxblood has its place, green pumpkin has its place, your purples, but Castake being a clear water reservoir, we rarely get that mud, that green water. We do, and you adapt. But in my experience, if I'm having a tough time with darker water, I'll move. I'll go find clearer water. Why struggle? I'm all about catching fish, and I'll figure them out by going to another place and going, okay, well, you're here and you're going to bite. Why waste my time over there? Right. I have a limited time on the water. Most of us do, and I want to make the best bang for my buck. Violet shad, I would like to mention, is a very good color in the ice pick, more so than the Shimmy. Don't know why, no rhyme or reason, but this color is constantly being ordered in the ice pick over the Shimmy.
Okay.
Again, my wife's mermaid's tail, and that bait just it sort of imitates like a blue foam. I used to want to call it like sea foam.
Okay.
It's like on the shoreline of the ocean.
Yeah.
And these baits work in the surf. I have guys that use a lot of the ice picks on darter heads in the surf for perch and corvina and stuff like that.
So obviously, so that's going to be more of the round, bulbous, straight tail, and you also have the Shimmy, which has the segmented body. So what's going to be the big difference between those two baits?
The biggest difference, I would say, you know, to the naked eye, they're the same length, but when you actually look at the baits themselves, this is, like I said, round with a flat tail, and this whole bait is flat, and it has two segments. So it actually moves like that.
Okay.
I Carolina rig it, so I'm dragging it. I drift fish, so I'm dragging it through the water.
Okay.
So I feel like that's just sort of swimming along in the rocks, right? Where this is my drop shot go-to.
Yes.
If you're asking me what am I going to drop shot, I'm going to drop shot an ice pick. I feel like that tail moves like none other. I'm barely moving. Look, it's still bouncing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and another good thing about an independent bait maker is you could ask me, hey John, I really want this, can you make them softer? Of course I can. And you can't get that from the major manufacturers. I need to buy 200 bags or so just to get a custom order. Where with me, I could say I can make it stiffer, I can make it softer, I could add more of this, more of that, less of this. You know, you get it. It's just the customizations are endless with a guy like myself.
Right.
But both baits, you could fish them both on every presentation. Personally, I fish the Shimmy on the C rig, the ice pick on the drop shot.
Very nice.